Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and we got a big surprise in the second sneak peek. Everyone, myself included, was expecting Zeus, but instead we get a welcome surprise. It's Ares, the powerful son of Zeus, the god of war. And monarch of the Olympian gods has returned stronger than ever. Will you join him in battle? Depends. Is he going to be useful, Marvel Future Fight? Is he going to just be a Shadowland character? We're going to have to wait and find out. Now, the update is going to be happening tomorrow night. For those of you wondering, just before we dive into the sneak peek, it is going to be happening tomorrow night. It's going to be a rolling maintenance type of update, so there's going to be no downtime. You're just going to close and reopen your game around 10 to 11 p.m. Pacific, or sorry, 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific, 10 to 11 p.m. Eastern time. And then you'll be prompted to download the patch, and then you'll have Amadeus Cho in his new uniform, but it's already in game, which we'll talk about in a second, and Ares and his new uniform, and possibly tier 4s for both of them. Maybe more, maybe less, who knows? Maybe some Black Friday sales, who knows? We'll have to wait and see. Tomorrow morning, in approximately less than 24 hours, like 15 hours or something like that, 16 hours, we'll be getting the patch notes, and I'll be making a video on that. But I'll also be live tomorrow night around the time that the update goes live. The patch is up, and I will dive into Cho and Ares with you guys, and we'll see what we can do. So that's the sort of breakdown time-wise, chronologically, of what's happening. But yeah, let's take a look here. The warlike hero who possesses superhuman strength and extraordinary combat skills has fought by crossing the lines between supervillains and superheroes. So I think they're changing him from a base supervillain to a superhero. So that means he's going to compete directly with characters like Gladiator and like Hercules for alien combat male superhero. Okay, keep that in mind. The God of War. Check out the new abilities and look for this superhero. So they directly, explicitly say superhero. New abilities and look is uniform in tier 4, presumably, who wields various weapons with a warrior's pride. We'll provide more details through information through the patch details. Now, before we get into the sneak peek, it's not too spicy here, but one thing I do want to caution players against is the value of Transcended tier 4s. If you look at all tier 4s in the game and you think about how many of them are Transcended, there's not that many of them, and they're not that good. Yeah, by and large, the game these days is dominated by tier 3, tier 4s. Whether they're native tier 1, whether they're native tier 2, whether they're native tier 3. If we think about some of the stinkers of tier 4s this year, like Juggernaut, like Bishop, you know, these are all Transcended tier 4s. So just keep that in mind. In general, Transcended tier 4s tend to be a little bit weaker and have been for quite a while. You have Moon Knight there, who used to be very strong because he was among the first tier 4s, but not anymore. And for most people's roster, if you take a look at who they don't have tier 4, particularly on this discount, you'll see that it is littered with Transcended characters. Like, I have some tier 3s here, like Punisher, Sharon Rogers, Star-Lord, War Machine, Falcon, Daredevil, Kingpin, Elektra, Hawkeye. But then I've got a lot of Awakened characters, like from Gambit on, right? It's almost exclusively Awakened characters until you get to Maya, I think, or Groot. Yeah. So a lot of Transcended tier 4s are just not that good, or they're just support only, etc. So I'm not going to get too hype for Ares, but I am happy that he's going to be getting something because he's really cool. Ares, God of War, very, very nice. You know, add to the Olympian tags, which people were asking for. So that should be quite exciting as well. Oh, no, he's a hero here. Huh. I thought he was a villain. Oh, okay, so they're not changing him at all. Oh. So why did they bother going with the hero and villain? I don't know. Anyways, whatever. I forgot. I haven't played with this character in 4 years because his, you know, the epic quest came out, and Sentry and Molecule Man were the focus of that epic quest, and Moonstone. Ares, gotten from that Dark Reign epic quest, by the way, just wasn't very good. Even when he was released, he was just pretty weak already. The only thing people were really transcending him for was to use as a leadership in Null World Boss Legend, because at the time, that was the only world boss that existed, the World Boss Legend, and there were very few good leaderships that were available in Transcended and Tier 3 that you could bring in. So that was that. Were there? I feel like there weren't. Maybe there were. I don't know. I can't remember, to be honest. I think, but I'm not 100% sure. I think about a lot of things, though. Anyways, let's check out the sneak peek here. It's your classic collage with a bunch of different clips. The outfit, I'm going to be honest, is a little soft. It's just a suit. Yeah. Like, it's funny in a way because he's wielding these medieval weapons and he's got this helmet and then he's cranking out all those hits in a two-piece suit. However, there's a lot of cool gladiator outfits. Ares is not, I don't know, maybe Ares in Marvel doesn't have a lot of different looks, but Ares, like the character, right? So many sick looks. And I'm pretty sure there's something in between the uniform that we're getting here and his base look here that we could have gotten. But yeah, it is what it is. I'm not going to complain too much about it. I think it's just kind of lazy, if you ask me. But yeah, and I don't know. The skills look, I mean, all the guys are wearing helmets looks kind of funny. The guys that are shooting. But yeah, I don't know. Ares shooting guns, shooting like plasma guns. I don't know, man. We'll see. Whatever. He's still combat for what that's worth. He's still combat. The other big thing that a lot of people are talking about is that Cho is already in the game. And we talked about this in a separate video, but I actually wanted to try and show you guys. So apparently, if you go over to the menu, unrelated character here, and you go to Marvel Universe, and you go to character, and you go over to speed, and then you go to any character that has a leadership or ability that applies to speed types. So for example, Gamora, and then you click on her leadership, which then brings up the speed type underline, and you click on the speed type underline, you'll get a list of all the speed types. And if you scroll down to the bottom, you will see Amadeus Cho, and you can actually click that, and then you can click preview skill. And there you go. He's in the game. This is pretty unacceptable that they've already accidentally posted one of the characters. I don't know, man. This is pretty bad. You can see his passive here. Super armor, all defense 20%. 100% chance to increase his crit damage by 50%. 20% guaranteed crit rate. Skill damage, bonus damage. You can see his uniform effect, which is a support buff, which applies to all allies. An increase of damage to supervillains by 40%. This is quite useful because we don't, if he's getting a tier 4, we don't know if he's getting a tier 4. If he's getting a tier 4, it's quite useful because we don't have a lot of speed hero supports, especially like speed male hero supports. We have Nick Fury, and that's basically it in the tier 4 category. So this would be quite nice to help climb. And then we can see his animations actually on his skills. So his first skill looks like this, pretty boring. Of course, he's wearing he's using Hercules' hammer. Obviously, it's going to be lame. His second skill, he pulls out a Game Boy. And then things explode, and look, it's a cancelable skill. Cancelable skills in 2025. Yeah, wow. The devs know what those are. Third skill, he just slams a bunch of times like Hercules. He also gets an immunity buff, and he gets accumulation as well. Wow, accumulation. Wow. Characters get accumulation in 2025. Interesting. Okay. Fourth skill, he just gets really fast, and he does a bunch of hits. Does a bunch of slams. All right. And then his fifth skill, he channels some sort of like god power. I don't know what this is. A bunch of ghosts come out, but it seems like you can cancel everything into 4, and he gets a bunch of hits to the tune of 96 hits. And you can actually even see a practice combo for him that is 3, 5, 4. Yeah, they don't include 2 for some reason. I don't know. They don't understand that the second skill can be canceled. I don't know what's up with the devs, but yeah, 3, 2, 5, 4 is a really good combo, and it's going to give you about 90 hits. Well, it gives you 90 hits if you're faster than me. My hands are really cold right now, so it's a bit of a slow cancel. But wow, it keeps going down. Wow. I think I'm pushing him out of the blast, maybe, perhaps. I don't know. Well, you get about 90 hits, and then yeah, his awakening skill is the same, where the ice comes down from wave, and he just slam jams, and you guys know the deal with that. It's an old, 2019, 2018 kind of awakening skill, but you would just do that because it's instant cancelable. So that's kind of nice. Your opening salvo rotation has north of 100 hits. It doesn't have north of 100. Oh, you have to wait a little bit. Okay. You do have to pause a little bit to get all the icicles and stuff. Wait, is it not cancelable at all? Hold up. Okay. Oh, it's not cancelable at all. Wow, so you have to just rest on the 6. Brutal. Brutal. Okay, but you do crack 100 hits that way. Yeah, you do get to 136 hits. Yeah. So I think based on the hits and stuff, I don't think Amadeus Cho is going to be a competitor for Speed Male Hero. For those of you that tier 4'd Winter Soldier recently, I think the number of hits is a bit suspicious, personally. But there have been more surprising things that have happened, so it's possible. I think more likely than that, he's going to be a support character with that support passive on his uniform that we can see right there. The uniform effect, which gives the 40%. His leadership is just crit rate, crit damage to all allies, which is terrible. So yeah, you don't really have to worry about that being referenced or used at all. He does have a 30% heal on his 5th skill with a frenzy buff. You can see all the buffs here. He does have invincibility here. He has accumulation here, which is nice. He does have fracture and paralysis. So he does have a couple of skills, but yeah, I don't think he's going to be taking anybody's. He's going to be eating anybody's lunch. Seems like he's going to be a support, and then that kind of puts it on Ares to be the more valuable character of the update, potentially being meta for ABX, ABL, or something else entirely. Maybe even PvP. Because I believe the one thing that Ares has going for him is a passive heal. He does have 30% all defense with super armor, and he does have that 50 below 99%. He heals for 5%. But yeah, he doesn't have any iframe ignore on his abilities, so he actually needs a lot of help. He would need a lot of help. He doesn't have iframe ignore or penetration, so if they were going to make him for PvP, they would have to give him the kitchen sink, which they do seem to be unable to do. Cough, cough, Hercules. So we'll have to wait and see. Anyways, that's the dive there. We got the patch notes tomorrow, and then we got the update tomorrow night, possibly the start of Black Friday, a little more than a week early, but hey, money has to be printed here over at the Netmarble offices. So get to buying. I'm being sarcastic or facetious. Anyways, hit me up in the comments down below. Let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching the video. Smash the like button if you enjoyed the content, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.